I asked Tyler Sweatt, Chief Revenue Officer of Second Front Systems, what kind of technologies and innovation the SOF community is asking him for.
So I think there's a couple different areas, and one of them's not going to sound maybe as cutting edge or as cool, and it's the interoperability. It's the ability to actually share data, to move data, to think about cross-fabric. Right now, so much data is stovepiped based on what infrastructure it's running on, and you really only can find it. So if you imagine 600 different soda straws with a little bit of soda in each, you don't know what's in each straw unless you're looking down that one straw. There's no way to look across. So the big is, how are we actually harnessing data to be able to power things like artificial intelligence, like autonomous systems, like smart munitions? Without the data behind it, I think none of that kind of really glamorous, the showy stuff, none of it can actually create value.
One of the things I think I take heart from is that the practitioners in this community and other communities understand that AI, for example, runs on data, so it doesn't seem to me, at least, that they're chasing after technologies like that as shiny objects like people used to. Is that a fair read?
Yeah, it's a fair read. I think what you're seeing is an appreciation for the speed of conflict, how fast things move, how quick decisions need to be made, and how critical precision and accuracy is. Not necessarily a great new weapon system, the best weapon's a mind, right? So if I can create and I can scale a human mind, the logical one step away from that is by harnessing data. And you're seeing a great push with bringing in of new chief technology officers and chief data officers and new organizational initiatives to harness that data in a meaningful way that can benefit the community.
All right, to use your soda straw analogy, are there ways to poke holes in the sides of those straws and connect those pipes together, and it's just a matter of using them, or is that technology or capability that's still in development?
That's a great question. I think it's the former.
Yeah.
Mainly you're seeing policy blockers, sort of a transition from an industrial age, kind of second wave, if you're an Alvin Toffler fan, very sort of linear stovepiped, into this knowledge age where you're almost letting go of control. That's hard to do for someone whose entire career has been predicated on it has to be inside this box for it to be compliant. And you're saying, no, the box doesn't exist. It's a little Schrodinger-esque.
Yeah.
So once we solve the policy problem, the tech's already there. It's been there.
So that means this problem is as much worldview and mindset, it's cultural,
absolutely,
as it is technology, maybe more.
I mean, the majority of technology problems I think you can distill down to a human.
Yeah.
Either in sort of mindset or some type of physical sort of mental limitation on what's the art of the possible and how can we scale security in a meaningful way.
What's your sense of how that's going from a cultural and worldview perspective? Do you think the community's making progress there?
I think we are. I think this is probably the first time in my career, take AUKUS sort of pillar 2 as a great exemplar, but also look at Congress right now. And I recognize politics are a little polarizing, but you're seeing Congress take a lead on sort of great power competition, on unifying sort of the technical innovation base and really closing some of the gaps. And I think it's probably the most aligned I've seen them with the community since the beginning of the war, which is quite a long time ago.
Yeah, it helps that everybody's focused pretty much all sides of the discussion, civilian, uniform, all the different communities,
absolutely,
all aligned on the same threat, right? Everybody talks about China.
It's got me cautiously optimistic that I think if we needed sort of a galvanizing enemy, right, to the new Cold War, that wasn't some far-off land like Iraq or Afghanistan, and it was something that could reach out and touch us both in a physical and an economic standpoint to really get us to take that next step, this hopefully is it.
We're almost out of time. I want to go back to the conversation at the beginning and those soda straws that we talked about. What's that look like in a mature state? Is there some framework that exists now, like JADC2, we're talking about putting data together, getting it to any shooter anytime?
Yeah.
Or at what point can we say, okay, this is working, this is going the direction we'd like it to?
Yes, I think I would love it to be JADC2. I think we overcomplicate programs because we reward program managers for big complex things.
Yeah.
I think it's really simple, and we start making progress when we let go of a lot of the complexity and recognize that there is a good enough sort of philosophy that guides multi-trillion-dollar technology companies. It can probably work for the department. And so it'd be a little bit of letting go and less formality.
Tyler, it's great to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much for having me.